I'm Mr. Talk That Talk with me, yeah. All right, guys. So you guys know it is the Talk the Ting with Kim segment.
Yeah.
And listen, I realize, when I mix up, when I like relationship thing, them bad.
Yeah.
Right? When I like it, when I know if everybody out here just trying to be in love or what. But guess what?
Be in love.
I don't know. Like, me try to figure it out, but I realize that I love them topic here,
The problem them love.
The problem them like the mix up and the argument and so.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, it is another Talk the Ting with Kim, but guess what? We have two guests in studio.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to incorporate them because, we welcome everybody into the Fantastic family. Right? And hold on, let me see who on the live. Steffi 5307, Queen, real bad girl Chevy, I say, who the mute there?
Yo, she asked question about everything. She
I share the security, so I know what she let them in and then
she ask
who
what kind of bulb them down there use. Like, you can't make she see nothing.
Right, guys, so we have, we're bringing in guests. They were actually supposed to be here for the rivals earlier, but you see traffic did owe them. I will understand, so we just revamped the thing.
They had a rivals match with traffic before this show.
Yeah, they win the traffic though. They beat it and them reach. So yeah, we appreciate them making the effort coming from Woy. So thank you guys. So we're gonna introduce Jay.
Hi.
Welcome. And then we also have Anthony. Anthony, what you have to say to people them?
What up?
What kind of whisper that? No, this is earlier than 8 o'clock still.
My bad.
And not past 8 o'clock yet. What kind of whisper that?
I'm
Come again.
to the device.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, what up, people? This is Anthony.
Yeah.
All right, big up Anthony. So, all right, guys. So the topic was dating someone with kids, right? No, as I said, I tell you, make sure you're sending in topics that you guys want to discuss because this was a topic that was mentioned on the live.
Yeah.
All right, so the very first thing I want to start with, Leonard Mason, big up yourself. Thanks for joining.
Oh, yes, Leonard, I think was one of the winners for
for one of the other rivals.
Yeah.
Yes, it be a rivals in other place.
I like it.
Right? All right, so the very first thing I want to start off with, guys, we need to not vilify persons with kids. So we need to not make it seem. Make I explain.
No, you can't just drop them where they're sucking and just walk down.
Explain. Me don't walk down with them.
Right as you say, Kim, you have to clear the ear.
So we need to not make it seem like people with kids are bad people.
Okay.
They are not. There's a whole discussion about, me no want nobody with picnic.
But suppose they're bad girl Chevy,
Listen, you're a bad girl Chevy work, that's what don't mix me. Right? So we need to not vilify, not make them, basically make them want to be bad persons, right?
Yeah.
Everybody need love. There's always somebody for everybody, right? So if they have kids, it don't mean that they're not supposed to be a part of the dating pool. Okay, so based on some of the conversations I had earlier, it's like they'll come off.
Well, really and truly, we don't really. All right, let me speak from from my side of the thing. I don't really say we vilifying.
Yeah. Vocabulary just expand.
That word right there.
That word.
Right? It's not that we're doing that, really and truly. Especially why most people say they are single now.
Yeah.
It's really we just say, prevention better than a cure, because sometimes you might think that it might be a problem or it might be a bit more pressure, or stress, or so we say better we just put it as one side. So I don't really say they are the bad people,
No, that's what I want to say. You may not, but some persons may have it as, we don't want a man with picnic. So it comes off like you're...
I usually problem people say them things there.
We're not following you up.
So?
What in the happens there?
You ever see the girl, me don't want a man with a job. And themselves not a job. So it's tricky, it's sticky.
But we have to understand that there are situations. Because remember, I'm sure probably you guys have been in relationships and did see forever one time.
True.
And probably, you did so in love and you have a child and you thought it was going to work, then it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then now they're just somebody with a child that's now also looking for somebody else.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
So you have to look at the bigger picture.
Wow.
And it's not that them just careless out there.
Somebody sent 2 paragraphs. But let's get into the
don't
topic.
worry. Hold on.
Before we get into
Albert
that paragraph.
1876 actually said, woman with kids, or women I'm guessing, with kids are a blessing and they have proof of the blessing also. That's my opinion. And Leonard said they aren't bad. It all depends on the child's behavior and attitude.
That's what I'm saying.
We're soon getting to that.
That's
and if you can accept all the all the responsibilities that comes with that, there isn't a problem, because same like how you want somebody to treat your kids, it should be the same for others. And most kids love their step parents more than their own parents.
Well, that's when the step parents nice.
Yeah, you have situation like that.
Yeah.
where, you know.
That's when the step parent nice.
Yeah.
True.
Okay. All right. And also, so make you know, Jay say, real bad girl Chevy say, you know, so I know Jay, I see my bus stop all the time.
Yeah.
Right? So,
yeah. Hold on.
Hold on, so you tell me say the man park him car at bus stop regular. You ain't not set up and still.
Or them tell them I walk foot.
Yeah, man, I want you to walk from the car to say.
Yeah, car
Right?
at the shop. Yeah.
All right, and shout at them. Or let me see a question before I go to the next point. What I want to know is why relationships that's been going on for years suddenly ends abruptly after a child comes into
That's a whole
play.
different topic. Listen,
That's a whole conversation by
just to
itself.
drop a comment, and you know that we were talking about the
No,
dating
but-
sites the other day.
Yeah.
But make a note of that, because
I'm gonna jot it down
I saw this lady on the dating site, and I see the main photo. She holding a baby in her hand. So I'm like,
So make you
okay,
know from early.
Kim, the baby not even reach one yet.
So make you know from early.
So me I say,
That she looking for
what happened?
a substitute.
What happened there?
And then it really make you think, and you know, like, yeah, for real, what's going on? What's
Yeah,
the situation?
Probably what happened.
What that-
Then why at that young age
It don't have to be
she's
young.
single?
It don't have to be young.
Well,
Yeah,
for the
innit?
specific.
Could have be all
Yeah, for that
40.
specific
But
thing.
But
What?
one
I'm
day in the
like-
relationship and she break up after the baby. Like,
Yeah.
It leaves it
We
to
have to-
one.
yeah, that's a whole different
That's a
topic.
whole
that's a whole
conversation.
different-
So
yeah.
shout at them and make a note. So it might be coming up in the, well, not next week. I have something for next week already. All right, but we're going to discuss it. So the very first point, other than that, Juju Max, I see you. Thanks for joining. And shout at them. Said this is really puzzling. It's like they start show the true colors. And bad girl Chevy still talk, boy, you never did a drive when you go to school. Stop acting like you don't know me, Jay. But we're not gonna mix up the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
So, all right. So guys.
Yes, them go.
First
All right.
and foremost, there is no such thing as a non-serious relationship once a child is involved.
Tell that to the
Unless
Jamaican people.
Very strict boundaries are set, and even then, it's still a somewhat serious. So when I say this, I mean, once a child involved, no matter how you want to make it be an on-the-surface relationship, a child is going to affect it in some way.
Yeah.
Should.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
It's going to, because even if it is that, and they say, all right, listen, we don't discuss kids none talk. One day you probably call her or call him and you want to go out, or, oh, you know, they may mention the child need me, or, so
yeah.
it's going to affect it in some way, no matter how you look at it.
Okay.
Right? So there's no such thing as a non-serious relationship once the person have kids. Right? So I'm going to put that out there.
All right.
Now, based on the survey I did earlier today, most people are against dating someone with kids. A couple of them will say, listen, they tried it and it failed and it never makes sense.
Right.
But they did actually say as well that it's not impossible, and just have to know, say it hard.
Right.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. People tend nowadays run from the harder thing now and look
Yeah,
for the
it's
easy thing.
challenging.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not that they're bad people, but people that say, boy, you know, probably dating a single person is 5 out of 10 as it relates to difficulty, and somebody with a child probably gone a 7, probably 9,
yeah,
10.
yeah.
So that must be the easy one sometimes.
Exactly.
Easy come,
So-
easy go.
Well, that I
so,
choose too.
so maybe we'll go with that then.
Yeah.
Anthony, what's your point so far before we go into the other points? What's your point on dating women with kids?
All right. Well, my perspective on it is basically you see her with her child, right? It is your responsibility as the man to say, all right, am I going to take up this challenge? Am I going to take up this responsibility? On the flip side, some women with children, you know, they're not looking for somebody to take care of their kids. They're looking for somebody or a partner for themselves. So they have to come to some agreement or understanding from the get-go to say, all right, am I going to be in this child's life as a caregiver, or am I just going to be as a model? So for instance, like a stepfather or just a father figure or a mother figure, whichever one.
But all right, my point on that, you know, I mean, if you're really and truly, well, as Kim said, it should be a serious relation. But that's why I said some people don't see it as serious. They must have jump in, jump out. But really and truly, if you're gonna go into somebody's life and they have a child, I think you should already have the mindset to prepare to say, boy, you know, I'm going to treat this person like my child. When I'll be no model or no copy figure, I am going to, because if you're going to deal with the mother that is your
Or the
child
father.
now.
Depend
Or the
on-
father, that's your child now. I mean, it might not be your biological child, but you have to
But you
think
play a
of this
role.
person as the
Yeah,
child.
you're playing that
Alright,
role.
give-
Because some people love the side thing, you know, when they come pick up the pitney,
No, it-
that relationship, there's going to be problem.
Problem.
You have to look on the child like it's your child. Because you're not going to get the right love and family. It's going to be a problem. It's
But
going to be tricky.
I think Anthony made a very important point,
Yeah.
because he mentioned understanding.
Yeah, talk it
And
out on the get-go.
yeah, and I mean, I think for the man, and we're talking about the man now, understanding what level you're at in life as well. Because if we're talking about a younger guy, you know, being in a situation like that, you're trying to develop, you understand?
Yeah.
Are you ready to
Take
take on that
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing? Versus
Stepdad in the 20s.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
versus someone who's in the 40s, 50s,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So,
True.
yeah.
A lot of thought after.
So
Yeah,
different
yeah.
ages and
And-
different stages, it's more
And
acceptable.
also from the female's perspective, you know, because some females, they are very protective of their kids. So even a new guy coming into the picture, they are still going to be apprehensive, defensive of the man coming around. But I guess with time that will go away. But
Yeah.
at first, as I said, the understanding has to be there that, all right, I'm going to be this person in this child's life, and I'm going to be this person in your life.
Yeah.
So it all starts from that understanding.
Well, that actually leads to one of the points I have. But before I go into that, Bad Girl Chevy said, all depends on how the baby daddy saga.
I think that should be the last part of the discussion.
Right,
'Cause
but we're not-
that's a big cake, you know.
That's a
'cause
whole thing.
As I said, you know,
That's the
you,
cherry.
you have to take on this child as if it's yours.
True.
So therefore, you can't, as I say, you can't be when the man come for the child and them something, because that now is a whole different cake right there. So.
And Bad Girl Chevy says some baby father treat them baby mother like garbage.
See it there?
Shouted at them, was agreeing to say it's sad. J. John Bell says incredibly sad, and only the children really suffer from it.
That's the rough part.
Right? Then also, Bad Girl Chevy agreed with you, Anthony. True, Anthony. Then how, when we did go to school, we're not following
You know what?
We're not going up.
And
But,
and-
but Albert 1876
Yeah.
said, when dating a queen with a child, I think making the child a priority is key.
has to
Can't
be.
treat the
Has to
queen
be.
nice and ignore the
Has to.
child
That's
or
why I
the
say that.
future.
You have
And
to be
then
there.
John also said a man or woman taking up a partner with a child should understand that they're a package deal,
See
and
there?
as such both require full attention,
Yeah.
respect, care, and the woman or man becomes yours as well.
Right.
All
See
right.
there?
So those are some of the top responses I'm seeing in the live so far. But I want to point out that when you're dating someone with kids, you have to accept that their ex will always be in their lives.
Yes.
That's not something you can go around. That's not something that you can hope to get rid of the person. We're hoping they're not thinking like that. But you have to accept that they will always be in their lives. And then you also have to note if they are on good terms with their ex, expect to meet them and communicate with them frequently. Or if they aren't on good terms, expect to hear a lot about the ex.
Well, I was going to reference a show on Netflix, but I'll leave it alone.
All right. So you were saying, Anthony, about the
Well,
ex always being in the life.
ex being around can be problematic
Yeah.
in the sense that where if that ex is not over with you or with the
Partner,
relationship or partner, they're going to be annoying, a leech on and in your skin, and it's going to affect the relationship sooner or later.
Yeah.
So you have, as the man, you have to make up your mind. Say, oh, am I going to deal with this added what do you call it?
Stress or
Stress or problem in this relationship, or am I going to just say, all right, you know what, not my thing, and just move on, let it be. If it so happens that you guys just be friends and call it a day. But the fact of the matter, if an ex is there, if they're on good terms, then hey, all the better, we can meet
It
each
should
other.
be,
link up.
even. Yeah, it should
Yeah.
be easy.
And
Very easy.
actually, John Bell agrees. So X can be a very wild card.
Yeah,
they
that's what I'm
can
saying.
make
Yeah, yeah.
or break things.
It's a shuffle, and really and truly, there's actually a term out there for it. I don't think it's easily recognizable from the men's side, but from the women, you already know.
Yup.
The man them say, listen me, Can't deal with the baby mama drama.
And the baby daddy saga.
No, that
Is what
that week.
That's what real bad girl Chevy call it, alright?
But you know,
once Miss Bad Girl say it, so once
drama.
Miss Bad Girl say it, you don't question, you know, you understand our
Baby,
pause,
she up on the live. She alright. She can't bad me up today. I joke.
Miss Carly said communication is critical in that situation.
Communication, cooperation, all of the Asian them have to come to play
What about
when you
boundaries,
come in.
though?
Huh?
What about boundaries?
Boundaries?
Boundaries.
That's an organization. All of the,
And
all
it
of the
comes
Asian
under
them.
communication
Yeah.
as well.
Right.
Wear it, J.A., thank you for joining. I see you on the live.
Remember, persons, once you join the live, just click on follow. That way you can
You
comment.
can comment.
In the
So if you want to
conversation.
contribute to the conversation and you can't, it's because you're not following, all right?
And if you're sending messages, you can do so on the WhatsApp or via the text line 876-212-9824 or 876-462-0919.
Yes. All right. And also, Real Bad Girl Chevy said, one thing I learned, ex always want you back when you're happy and in love, you know. It's a set up true.
All right, so trust me. So you said, one of the things you said...
You have to expect that the ex is always going to be in their lives. You have to, you can't go into it or into that agreement or dating somebody with a child expecting to change that. If it is, then you're already set up for failure. You have to basically know that, all right, there's going to have to be some cooperation. And I personally think if you're only in the dating stage, I don't think the child needs to get involved or
I know. Is that a right away thing? Yeah.
No, some person, that's what it starts. Like what you said, the dating profile should put a baby from the get-go there. So, you know, somebody like that may, from the beginning, start involve the baby.
Well, probably because the type of dating profile, because I think that's what Tinder. So it's like a signal to say, no, you need to see what's going on before you know whether you need to swipe left or swipe right.
And
But that's
even on one
fine
of
there.
our previous shows,
Might
we
take
were
you probably a
saying
year
that's
before you
not
know the
best.
child name or something.
Right.
But that's fine. But it's good to, especially on those platforms, show that, okay, I have a child, or say it in your bio, so that the person knows.
Yeah, I would
they're
say it
making
in
a
the bio
decision.
instead of posting a picture
Yeah,
of
you
the
don't
baby
need to
still.
post the
And once
picture.
you then from a male perspective, once you see that, then you know what you're up for.
Right, you can plan on.
That would,
You might not meet the child in the first month, but at least you understand that. All right, so she has a child, so you know if you're really interested.
Yeah, nobody waste no time.
And please,
if
it doesn't necessarily mean that, all right, she's looking for somebody to take care of.
Uh-huh.
That's the trick too, because sometimes it is the case where, because that's what I said. No, when you see a lady, or even might not be the same level on the men's side, but when you see somebody fresh out of a relationship, maybe within a year or a couple months, it seems I think that person probably should take a little time to find some self or whatever before you jump back into another relationship. So that's why the guy would probably say off the bat that this look like it's gonna be extra responsibilities because she's have a baby out, so the man start look for how much you feeding, how much you pamper. You know what I'm saying? But once it is that you understand, all right, so the child is about 3, you know that she's trying to do this for a while now, so you can put your half if you have half,
Exactly.
and understanding where she's at. So even you venture into that and you start communicating with her. Okay, so where you at with this? What's the situation with the father, for example?
Right.
How and she will tell you. And
sometimes.
Sometimes.
So it's communication. Hopefully,
I was about to say, it
hopefully
goes
both
back
of
to
you.
communication.
Hopefully both of you working together, because trust me, we know the situations out there.
And with that in mind, Shorty at them say, you have some jealous ex that decide that they no longer want to be with you, but as soon as you're with somebody else, is a problem. All of a sudden, they want a second chance to treat you good.
Shorty
and
at them.
John Bell supported. He said, truth. Right? And then she said, and if you don't comply, they start ignore you and the child.
Wow.
Chevy says some people have to learn to move on and leave it. If it wasn't meant to be, it won't happen. Just let it go.
All right.
Just as Christian, I see that you joined. Thank you for joining. So yeah, guys, we have to understand and accept that your ex is going to be, or their ex is going to be in their life. And as I said, if it's a good relationship between them, just expect that you're going to somewhat frequently communicate with the ex, right? Because enough for work together, because it's no longer just you and them. It's you, them, the child, and the ex, right?
Some malice in naga work.
Exactly. And if they're on bad terms, expect that you're going to hear a whole heap of complaints about the ex. So just prepare. As I said, it's not easy. So you have to choose very carefully. It's a whole package deal, as Miss Carly said, right?
Right.
And
Also, be prepared for awkward, tense, or uncomfortable moments. All right? So when I say this now, you have to understand that you probably won't always be first choice in certain scenarios.
Right.
You have to understand that in certain, I can speak from experience, but tell us, I have some stories, right? I was dating someone with a child and her birthday was coming up, right? We were a few months in and stuff, and he said to me, boy, it might look away, or the ex might feel away to say that, this is where he introduces his new girlfriend to his ex at the daughter's birthday party, right? And I mean, I understood because we're only a few months in, so I wouldn't make it a problem, but I did say to him that, if we're going serious, just know that I'm not going to be the woman your father dealt with. I plan to be involved. And it was a whole conversation about, well, the mother not going to be okay. Like, it's a whole heap of uncomfortable conversation.
The mother of the child?
Yeah, because, I can speak for that. Because for me, I remember growing up, I remember my mom telling my dad, listen, don't carry nobody around my picnic, right? Also, women are like that, more so than the fathers, no matter who. Right? And the funny thing is, because even somebody said it earlier when I asked her, she said she don't mind dating anybody with a child because she knows she can trust herself. She can't trust nobody else.
Oh.
And she did say, it's going to sound hypocritical, but she not doing it because she not trust them women here out here. Man, know what you do,
Well, that's the thing too, because there we go. You have both parties, and then if the person going, have another partner,
Right.
you have to understand how it going to work.
That's why I said be prepared for awkward conversations, awkward moments. There's gonna be times that probably they're complaining about the ex, probably about their parenting style or something. Now you have to listen.
Yes.
You have to listen, or probably give you 2 cents or something. So if you are going into a relationship or just dating somebody with a child, I'm gonna try again and look at things to think about before. Because it's a commitment, guys. It is a commitment.
It is.
All right.
Right, so that was the second. Well, I don't know if it's a second.
I think it is
Another
fourth point. Yeah.
Right, and then also when dating someone with kids, you have to basically make plans in advance.
Yeah.
Right, you can't do that short notice something there. We know no people out here love spontaneity. Call up, hey, what you doing now?
Yeah.
You know what? We're going country. It not really works. So
Right.
right, you have to make plans in advance, not only for your partner but also for your partner to make plans with the ex. Right?
Or with the babysitter.
Or with the babysitter, or the mother, or the
grandmother,
neighbor, or
and
something.
Especially if it's a baby.
Exactly.
No, man, but once it's under 12, you
Well,
can't leave them in
You
the
can't leave them, you
Right.
understand? And then even nowadays, you have to be very careful who you left them with, or when a family. So, you can't just do them short notice something there. And also, when you're making plans, you have to make plans for more than just you and them. You have to
Alright.
plan for the child as
Yeah.
well. So, I'm not going to say like every day the child is going to be there or something, but it can't just be dinner for two every single time we don't go out.
If you're really truly interested in the mother, you're going to make some plans with the child to say, oh, yeah, mom, you could go up there and go look on 2 zoo animal. You get me?
Exactly.
Yeah. You
Right?
can't just want to carry mommy and don't know where no.
And
Exactly.
in that process as well, I think one of the most important thing is the impact that this have on a child over time.
Right.
So your decisions really determine, how that relationship with the child, how the child feel about, all of that, how the child grow up over time. What, you have to really think about stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also on that same point, in the long run, how that child grows up to look or have the outlook on life.
Yeah.
If that father figure or mother figure coming into the child's life, if they're treating the mother or father with respect, with love, all of the above,
Yes.
that child is going to grow up and say, okay, as much as my biological father, mother, mommy and daddy
Yes.
fell out, this person came into my life and showed me what a relationship should be like.
Yeah.
So I am going to continue that. And that is where, the world on a whole, children coming up to be adults, it affects the world on a whole.
Yeah.
It's very
But
true
yes.
because
Yeah, no, but of
somebody
course.
earlier that I interviewed as well getting the answer, she said she closer to her stepfather. Her stepfather was more of a father than her actual father.
that's
So she
gonna
was
happen.
telling me she was already biased before I even asked the question.
Yeah.
Because she's like, my stepfather, she can't really say is our father.
Once somebody steps up to the plate and start doing what they should be doing,
Yep.
trust me, it's going to leave an impact on the child.
Exactly. And Miss Carly says it's a whole package deal, but boundaries and communication are key.
And
True.
Sun Gaze Jojo. Oh, you still
I don't
reading?
read there yet.
Okay.
Happy Home Professional joined as well. Fun Factory 876, I see you. Chevy says some stepmother evil, They will do your kids things behind your back when they can't get money from their man.
Oh,
Try read over Cinderella.
Alright.
She was setting up to go read back Cinderella. right? And I see Dana Ray Clayton. Thank you for joining. And Sungaze Jojo said,
personally, if I should date someone with a child, it has to be a young baby or a young child so that the child can grow on me. Dating someone with a teenager, especially nowadays, the rebellious ones, it's gonna be hard. See, another problem there. I tell you, because it has so many what you call those things, so many options or limbs or extensions. It's unpredictable.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Chevy said, I don't know how some people treat kids, but you know, even for me and my family, them not talk. I still give my nieces and nephews things. Some people just cold-hearted. So you have to be careful who you bring into the lives of your kids.
And it's not really that you don't like kids, you know, but trust me, when if you go into a relationship and the child is rebellious and I say you don't like the child, but that's going to be rough on the relationship.
That's actually something that I remember Dr. Docs Swanipu, I remember she said it earlier in our conversation. Yeah. She said, listen, she personally wouldn't date a guy. She has kids now. And she's saying she wouldn't date somebody without kids because firstly, she said there's a certain emotional intelligence you get when you have kids, right? She said before she had kids, she would say, pick me or throw a tantrum on the road and say, listen, if I might pick me, no. Them better not play, no. And she said, no, she has kids and she makes sure she used to blame the parents as well, saying, them not grow them right, them nowadays parents here. And she's like, listen, everything that she do for try to grow her son a certain way and him still throw a tantrum. And she's like, you know, somebody from an outside perspective, not understanding being a parent, may treat it differently.
But that's a plus, you know, but it's also a minus. It's also you call it pro, you have con. It's also a con because here we are, two different people coming from two different places, so we might have two different parenting techniques.
Bringing different values, morals.
All if you have a child already, the person going to tell you, say, listen, me, I saw me raise my child. So it's a...
Yeah, I mean, technique, alright, that's one, but values, at the end of the day, what values are you instilling in the child, in the home and a whole, you know?
That is what we're going to have to take up in the other segment.
Exactly. So, guys, we are going to the 7:30 break. We're like a minute after. But trust me, the discussion, we're almost through. I want to see if we can slide in the final rival section before we go. But yeah, man, guys, I love the input. Thanks for participating. We'll be right back.
News Talk 93 FM. Heard everywhere.